Welcome to Epistemics 2023, an enlightening interview series organized by the Royal College Science School. Today we have a special guest whose career has been in the realm of zoological science. So without further ado, let's get into the zoological department made up with Professor Devaka Weerakoon, who is the head of the department of zoological science. Good morning, Professor Devaka Weerakoon. Thank you for joining with us today. Could you start by telling our audience a bit about your professional background and expertise?
I did my secondary education at Ecology, and from there I got selected to University of Colombo, where I did my first degree, Bachelor of Science in Zoology Honours. After that, I received a Fulbright scholarship to go to USA, where I had finished my Masters and Ph.D. And in 1995, I came back to Sri Lanka and assumed duties as a senior lecturer. And currently, I'm a senior professor at the Department of Zoology, and my professional area is conservation biology. I'm interested in conserving threatened species in this country.
That's quite impressive, Professor. Now, could you tell us the challenges that you had to face to come to this position?
Thanks to my education at Colombo, I have had an excellent education in the advanced level. We had some of the best teachers I have met, and also thanks to free education, I managed to come to university and complete it. But if I may look at my career, I can see two challenges. One, when I got selected to go to USA, I wanted to go and work with a person called Professor because I was very keen on studying fish, and he was the supervisor of my undergraduate supervisor. But when I went to USA, I found that Professor Ward has passed away. So that was challenging at that time because I had to change all my plans and I had to study a completely different discipline subsequently. So after I finished my PhD, I came to Sri Lanka and I wanted to set up a lab to study immunology about body's defense system because my PhD was not there. But at that time, we did not have a lot of money or space in the department. So I had to change my discipline again, and I started working in conservation biology. So those are the two major challenges I can think of in my career, where I had to make some serious changes in my practice. But other than that, I think I've been very lucky. I have had the opportunity to learn from some of the best teachers in school, and also in the university and in grad school.
Wonderful, sir. Now, can you tell us about the department, how inside the department system works, and about its legacy?
Yes. If you look at the university system here, the first university to be formed in Sri Lanka is Ceylon University College. That was in 1921, approximately 100 years ago. And in the University College of Sri Lanka, we started offering zoology. but the department was established in 1924, roughly about 100 years ago. And when we started, we only had one lecturer, Dr. Bird. He was from England, and subsequently we have had Sri Lankan professors coming in, and currently Department of Zoology in the University of Colombo is the largest department in the state university system. We have a number of state universities which have Department of Zoologists, but we are perhaps the largest. We have 3 emeritus professors, 2 senior professors, 7 professors and 6 lecturers. All of them are qualified up to Ph.D. level. So I would say this is the best zoology department in the state university system in Sri Lanka at the moment. And if I tell you a little bit more about the type of courses we offer, now we offer undergraduate courses. We have there are 2 intakes to University of Colombo. People who do biological sciences for advanced level, they can either come in the direct biological science intake to University of Colombo, or we also have another intake for molecular biology, which also takes a certain number of students from bioscience. So during the first 2 years, both these students have to study plant science, zoology and chemistry. So we cater for them. And then at the end of the second year, they have the option to specialize for a 4-year honors degree. Now the zoology department offers 4 honors degrees. One in traditional zoology, which is the honors degree we have been offering for a long time. And then we have also introduced the honors degree in environmental science, and then honors degree in immunology and integrated molecular biology, and a 4th one called business and environment. Because most of the businesses today are thinking about sustainability and doing better business and so on, because environment is a serious concern. So we are producing graduates who can go to the businesses and carry out those jobs. So that is the undergraduate. We also offer postgraduate degrees. We are offering 2 master's programs, one for climate change, one for environment science, and then we also offer a certificate course in immunology and molecular biology. We offer a diploma in climate change. So these are courses that we are trying to offer for people who wish to have higher education. In addition to that, we also offer opportunities for people to do MPhil and doctoral degrees, which is the highest level of education you can attain in this country. So that is the postgraduate level training. And we also offer another course called external degree in sustainability and environment. Because what we see is in this country, people who sit for advanced level, vast majority of them cannot go to the university, and therefore they drop out after a while. And we want to offer pathways for those people to get a degree, and that's why we are offering this external degree. This is for people who do not get selected for the state university system. They can use this pathway to get a degree and thereby get themselves back on track. So these are the programs that we are offering as the Department of Zoology for citizens of this country.
Obviously, sir, you have worked in this university for quite a long time. Could you share some experience, some iconic moments that you faced during this time period?
Yes, I came to this university more than 40 years ago as a student. I was just 18, coming out of college, and I had no idea what I was going to do here. But then I became very interested in zoology because I had some fantastic lecturers here who presented zoology in a very different way. So by the end of second year, I knew that I want to do zoo. That is the path that I wish to pursue. And after I graduated, I was immediately recruited to the department as an assistant lecturer, and I have been here for nearly 36 years serving the department. 7 years of that I was away doing my postgraduate work. When I look at the time I spent here at the university, it is one of the most memorable experiences in my life. I met some of my best friends here. I met my wife here. She was one of my batchmates. And I made lifelong friendships. And I also had opportunity to learn and interact with some of the best minds in the country. So if you, the answer to your question, there's so many things that are important to me, so many important events of my life is connected with this university, because I think I spent nearly more than 2/3 of my life here, starting after I left college. From that time onwards, for the last 40 plus years I've been here. So it's been a very, very interesting and memorable experience for me.
That's quite impressive, Professor. Now, could you tell us the challenges that you had to face to come to this position?
Yes, if I talk about myself, my research interest is in animals that are going extinct. So when I came back from my Ph.D, I started working on elephants. I was fascinated by them. I have been studying elephants for nearly 10 years. The first thing I wanted to know is, in this country, lots of elephants are killed by people because of the conflict. So I wanted to know what is the root cause of this. So I started studying their behavior, their conflict patterns, their feeding behavior. So for the last 20 years or so, that has been my main research area. Most of my research publications are in that area, and I have supervised a number of PhD students. One of them just graduated, another one is going to graduate in a few months from now. So that has been the main research area that I was interested in. I was also interested in fish because I grew up in Behavioural, and my backyard was Bellangwilla Artidia Sanctuary. So I spent a lot of my childhood days in the marshes. I was fascinated by the creatures who lived in the marsh, and that's how I developed a liking for fish. And in fact, when I did zoology, the main reason why I did it because I was fascinated by fish, and my undergraduate research thesis was on the behavior of one of the endemic fish in the country. So I continued that interest even later on, even though I studied mostly elephants. I studied one fish species called Bandula petia. This fish is found only in Sri Lanka, only in Weerakoon area, in a 3-kilometer long stream. So in 2003, when we started working on this, there were only 100 fish left in the whole world. It was just about to disappear from the planet. So for the next 10 years, I studied the fish with a number of my graduate students, and we managed to bring that population back to about 2,000 fish. It's no longer facing extinction. So that, I think, was another very important piece of research that I have done. But this department produces lots of very interesting research. We are working in areas such as cancer biology, immunology, molecular biology, gene expression. That is one area of research that zoo department does. But we also do a lot of work on ecology, conservation biology, environmental science, and so on. So our department has very wide research interest, and we have very, very active researchers in the department. So I think, to answer your question, in terms of research, I think Department of Zoology is doing some fascinating work. And the interesting thing is, most of this work involves undergraduates. People like you who come in as students will play a huge role, because they are the ones who go out there in the field, collect information, and work with the professors to produce the research outcomes. So I would also like to point out that students who come to University of Colombo to study zoology has a wonderful opportunity to travel around Sri Lanka and get involved in various types of projects, whether it be looking at turtles or fish or elephants and so on. So that is the type of research that we do.
Okay, Professor. Nowadays, a problem there are most of the A-level students who are studying on the science stream assume that there is no other option or career if they didn't get into engineering or medical faculty. What are your thoughts on that? And Professor, what are the facilities provided by the zoological department for this matter?
That's a very pertinent question because when I was your age, that's what my teachers told me. Weerakoon, you had to go to medical school. That was the expectation. And my teachers were all science graduates. They have actually studied science in universities like this, but they never encouraged me to do science. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing, trying to create awareness among the student community. Science has much more to do because the problem is, like, if you go to medical school, you come out a doctor. You go to engineering school, you become an engineer. But if you do science, the opportunities are so wide. You can, some of my batchmates end up in banking sector, because what we are teaching here is not just a subject, it's a way of thinking. How do you logically analyze a set of data and come up with solutions to problems? Science is only the vehicle that we are using. The subjects are only the vehicle that we are using to give a certain way of thinking to people. That's why science students are very, very successful in a wide range of places. Some of my batchmates have gone into state service as Sri Lanka Administrative Service. Some have ended up in Sri Lanka Scientific Service. Some in Sri Lanka Foreign Service. They are currently working in various embassies. That's one aspect. Many of my batchmates became scientists like me. Either they are teaching here, there are several universities where my batchmates are teaching as professors today, but most of them are not here. They have gone to America or Australia or Canada, where they are working there either as professors or research scientists. But then even in Sri Lanka, we have so many research institutes for crops like coconut, tea, rubber, and all these research institutes require scientists like us because the work they do require this kind of training. So then some have ended up as teachers in schools. So when you look at the opportunities after doing science, it's unlimited. Only thing that will limit you is your own limitations in your thinking. So, I mean, when I look back at my life, coming here was, I think it was something that I didn't plan to do because, like all others, the plan was to go to medical school. But I didn't have the required number of marks, so I ended up here. Because I didn't want to repeat A-level twice. I thought whatever I get, I'm going to go. So I ended up here, but then only I realized that this coming here gave me an opportunity to go on a wonderful journey of discovery. I have traveled across maybe 25-30 countries, all to study animals. And I didn't have to pay for it. I got paid to traveling and looking at it. So I never had an idea that this kind of jobs are available when I was your age. So I think the message I would like to pass on to students is science has so much opportunity, so much potential. So do not write it off. Everybody cannot become doctors. Everybody cannot become engineers, and we need other professions. And for that, you have to have this kind of training. So I would encourage people to explore science. Even we try to have a program where we allow people who are interested in science to come to the university and spend a few months after their A-levels, so they get to learn what do scientists do, what kind of things can be done. And if you look at this facility, this is all for teaching students. I mean, we have state-of-the-art laboratories, we have a museum, we have very good lecture theatres, we have so much resources to teach students science, specifically zoology in our department. So unfortunately, I think a lot of people do not realize that this option is there. And most of the people who show up in this university are people who have decided to come here because they couldn't get into med school. But I think only once they come here, they realize what kind of potential that is there in doing science. So I would encourage once again for most students who are in the science stream to get to know a little bit more about science, what can be done about science, what can be done with a science degree, and to explore that possibility, because that will give you a more wide set of options to do in life. But at the end of the day, what we have to be thinking, what is you have to be happy in life. You should find something that makes you happy, because you'll be doing a job for 30, 40 years. And when I look at my job, I think I cannot think of a better job, because I'm being paid to travel and look at things and do things that I really enjoy. So that is something I think every student must figure out at some point of their life. What is it that I would like to be? What would make me happy? And what would I enjoy doing for 30 or 40 years of my life, rather than getting locked up in a job that you really don't want to do. In fact, just a month ago, a mother brought in a student, a medical student, a very bright chap, again somebody who has studied at Royal College. He has ended up in medical school, but he realized after going there, this is not what he wants. He wanted to study zoology. So he came here and asked me whether he can come back to the science faculty. Unfortunately, our system doesn't allow that. So the reason why I've given this example is sometimes if you are not well informed, the decisions you take are perhaps not the best decisions. So I think this program that you are conducting is very important. You are giving people information about what options are there. It's like if you are going to a buffet, if you do not know what is there, you're probably not going to get the best out of it. And education is like that. There are so many options. But if you do not know what is available, you're probably going to do something that you might not end up liking during the rest of your time. So once again, thank you very much for making this attempt to get this information out to students like you. Thank you.
Finally, as the last question, Professor, can you give a small advice to the A-level students that are willing to come to this university?
I think the first piece of advice I can give is, Sri Lanka is a very poor country. But one thing that we have, one very important thing we have is the state education. Because the people like Nangara have given an opportunity for people to receive a free education up to tertiary level. But very few people make use of it. And if you look at our universities, we always have vacancies because people, if they don't go to medical school or engineering school, they don't apply and come for this kind of program. So basically what I would like to tell the students is, one thing, be aware what can be done. And the second thing is, if you know very early in your life what you want to be, then it's much easier. It's very difficult. I know, like most of the young people, your aspirations keep changing. Sometimes you want to be a doctor, sometimes you want to be a pilot, sometimes you want to be a marine officer. It changes. because it's a very young age and you are learning things, you are getting exposed to things, and you are likely to think, oh, this looks interesting, that looks interesting. But I think it's important for us to have some idea what we would like to be, because then it's easier. Then it's easy for you to make your choices, because you can go through life two ways. Either you can go exploratory, try doing things and eventually find what you want to do, or you can know what you want to do or where you wish to go and have a plan as to how to get there. And I think that is why this kind of programs are important, so that people have an idea what can be done. Because if you don't know what can be done, then you can't plan. So I think that is the idea I would like to give students, the message I would like to give. Because unlike when I was your age, today you have so many options and opportunities. We didn't have things like internet. Today, if you go to internet, you can search and find just about anything, any piece of information. Those days, either we had to go and ask some elderly person or something like that, but we did not have access to information. So basically what I would like to tell people is there is information out there. Access it, learn it, explore it, and have a better understanding about what is available so that you can make the right kind of choices about your life.
Thank you for your insight, Professor Devaka Weerakoon, who is currently sharing his experience as the head of the Zoological department. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure sharing this experience with us. And for the viewers of this video series, thank you for joining with us today. Hope you had a wonderful time with the Epistemics 2023 organized by the Colombo University. Then, see you later.